Well, hello there. I'm Tania Kolar.
And I'm Voh Ah.
Today, we want to talk about how you treat yourself in stressful situations. When you squeeze an orange, you get what's inside, right? So, if you're feeling irritated, if you're annoyed, if you're upset, if you're frustrated, your external environment is going to bring that out of you. So, we really want to start to be aware of how we're treating ourselves, particularly in stressful environments, because a stressful situation is very telling as to what is going on in the inner environment. And it's so important to be good to ourselves in stressful environments. Sometimes we can be our own worst critics, beat ourselves up, and really be harsh, with the words that we tell ourselves. So I think it's really important to really start to pay attention to what we're saying to ourselves in those stressful situations.
The amazing thing is what I have observed by very influential people and also by other people, how they behave in stressful moments,
Mm-hmm.
how small their energy becomes. That means that they treat themselves in a very bad way. And well, it was clear that was on me, and I made it, and I knew that in advance, and all that stuff is coming up in these certain situations. And these situations shows me that people treat themselves. That's the core of the situation of somebody, that
Mm-hmm.
they're treating themselves not in a respectful, in a lovable way. So we are talking about self-love in these certain situations, because especially in these certain situations, we have to care ourselves in the very best situation, because when I had a bad experience and I kick myself as well, I think it doesn't make the situation any better. What do you think, Tanya?
Oh, it makes it so much worse, right? Absolutely. When we compound, that sort of self-loathing, and the problem is that many people are so used to putting themselves last. Everybody else is more important. Everybody else is first. The kids are first. Your spouse is first. Well, the person that should be first, in your environment is you. You are the most important person in your world, in your life. And when you can be your best self, you give your best self to everyone around you. And that is a beautiful gift. And it can be difficult to unwind the pattern of putting people first. I've been there. I grew up like that, thinking that everybody else was more important than I was. It took me a really long time to start to believe that I was worthy of being number one, of sharing and expressing what my needs are. And I think that's really the problem there, right? So when we don't understand what our needs are, we tend to ignore them, which is never a good thing. And that's how we continue to perpetuate putting other people first, so that when we are put an environment where we are stressed out, then yes, of course, negativity is going to start to come out, because you suppressed so much of your own inner being and your wants, that it's an opportunity for it to finally be released. And it comes out in a way that is not necessarily beneficial to you in that moment, let's say.
So but the good news are, you only have to be aware,
Mm-hmm.
because the more you become aware of your behavior about yourself, you have the opportunity to change. And the more you're changing your behavior into a good relationship to yourself, in a respectful relationship to yourself, that changes the whole situation. Because as Tanya said, it comes from the inside out. The more I'm purified in myself, the less I experience these negative situations in the outside, and I treat myself definitely in a better way.
Mm-hmm.
And just think it over. When how do you want to be treated when you're in a stressful situation? I guess you want to be treated in a respectful way. So I suggest you also to think it over and then to respect yourself and treat yourself in the very best situation, and be aware that maybe the mistake you just made, you didn't make it because you really wanted to do that. It happened because maybe you haven't been that concentrated or whatever.
Mm.
So just be aware, make a promise to yourself: the next time I will care about it and I do it in a better way. This time it happened, so that's it. So I changed my behavior in a massive way because I know when something negative happened, I don't I don't push too much energy on me, because I know I didn't really want it to do, but it can happen, as everything in life can happen. And I give myself the promise: next time I try to do it in a better way. And what I experienced, I do it in a better way, that's for sure. And so give yourself 100 point of allowance. And when you have used them, give yourself another 100 point and
Mm.
a credit. And then you will see your life will change in a massive way.
Yeah. So the thing is that, everybody is doing the best they can in the moment. You made the best choice that you knew how to in that particular moment, given all the circumstances and everything else, in your life. And so it's okay if you feel like that wasn't the best choice, right? Don't beat yourself up. We're all humans. We are all here, and we're all going to make mistakes. It's part of living. And it's a beautiful thing because, again, we can look at those situations where we feel like we could have improved as an opportunity to do exactly that, to improve, to be better than we are in this moment, but not to beat ourselves down. The problem is that we get stuck in the, oh my gosh, you messed up. What were you thinking? Why did you do that? But it's okay. We're going to make mistakes. So we have to find the balance of being okay with those moments when we're not perfect, and those moments where we have made a so-called mistake or whatever we deem to be a mistake, right? You have to sit with that and be okay with that, and still know that you are a beautiful, perfect whole being despite any of those situations that you feel you could have been better at.
Because we're not here for a competition, we are here for collecting experiences. Everyone and each of us is here for making these experiences, taking these experiences. So there is no competition around.
Mm.
And the more we are aware that we are learners during our whole life, that takes your pressure against you away, the tension of you away, and you will see you will be more relaxed, and you won't become a lazy person, because you really want to give the best, always the best for yourself. And the more you know, well, other people have their own issues, I have mine. I think that's the best way to become more relaxed. And then you are able to behave in yourself. And also, just to guide yourself through such a situation is such a wonderful tool. And of course, Tanya was late today, I have to tell you that. And
Uh-oh, yes,
and
guilty,
and
guilty.
no, and that can happen. Of course, I was a bit disappointed, because I was so looking forward to have this, but I knew we will have a wonderful session together, and we have a lot of fun. And this kind of thing can happen in life,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe I was also late for another time, and now it happens like that. The more I'm aware that I'm not always that perfect, that I also made mistakes, or however you want to call it, the more positive you are also to other people.
Yeah.
and it releases a lot of tension, it releases a lot of stress, and that's what counts, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up. And it's also interesting because, yes, I actually was late, for our get together. And I also had that tendency of, oh my goodness, like I let my friend down. How could I be late? What's wrong with me? And, but I let it go, right? So when those moments come, you have to let them go. I'm not saying they're not going to ever come back. They certainly might, but again, it can just be for those few moments. And again, you're human, you let it go. It's the past. The past has happened. We cannot change the past. So I can sit here and say, what a terrible person I am. How could I do that? And sit here and apologize for the next hour and waste energy, waste time, and not serve each other well in this situation, right? So, really important to just allow yourself the opportunity to mess up and just be okay with it. Of course, if there's a situation which requires an apology, offer the apology, right? But then just let it go instead of constantly bringing it up and saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I really, don't know what happened. It doesn't matter. Things are going to happen in life, but we
Of
do
course.
have to own up to it and let it go.
And what we did out of this situation, we were so productive. We were on such a high frequency,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope you you can sense that, and always see the positive thing because we have so much fun,
Oh,
and
yes.
we learned a lot about this situation as well.
Yes,
And
we're
I
always
hope,
learning.
and I'm convinced you can do the same, whatever it is. Just observe, just become the observer of the situation, and you will create wonderful, positive things because every situation has two sides. We don't want to go much deeper in that because I think we are running out of time.
Yes.
So I say thank you so much for being with us, and see you next time.
Yes, we will see you next time. Always a pleasure.